Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG WDF LOL FTW BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2002, rebooking the invasion angle as we are on the road to WrestleMania, booking our way up to our pit stop in between the Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania, though better known as No Way Out. And here we are booking Monday Night Raw. It's been a little bit here, but I've been quite busy with work. I just had my wrestling training this past week, and in fact, I had my first match, so that went pretty good. I have it up on the channel, but it's unlisted. I haven't really decided if I want to make it public or not, but I might if enough people demand me to. So if you guys want to see my first match, let me know. Either way, though, enough talking about what I've been doing out of here. Like I said, it's been a little while. Let's jump right back into this invasion angle as we run the show here. We got a couple of pre-show matches here. First match of the night gets a solid D rating with a 47. Let me mute my cell phone here as it just decides to go off on me. We have a pre-show bout that has terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat as Bradshaw goes over Leviathan, one of our developmental stars, in 6 minutes, 2 seconds with the clothesline from hell. I don't know if many of you really remember Leviathan too much. I can't really remember his wrestling career all that much, but Leviathan, believe it or not, went on to become a pretty well-known actor. He's been in the Legend of the Iron Fist or Fist of the Iron Fist or some shit like that movies, some karate movies, but better known for his performance as Drax the Destroyer in the Guardians of the Galaxy series. So Leviathan doing pretty good for himself despite not really having such a memorable wrestling career. I can't remember it. It's crazy. Either way, Bradshaw, he had a great performance, really stood out, well, duh. And in-ring performance of a 74 to Leviathan's 15. This was just kind of a test for Leviathan. I figured he hasn't really had a shot on the main roster yet, really to test himself in front of people. But a 15, that's got to be worked on. I don't think I want to call people up unless they at least get like a 25 in-ring performance. Maybe that's unrealistic. I don't know. Anyway, we then move on to our main event of the pre-show, which does a solid 62 C rating here. Subpar Wrestling and Little Heat, Team ECW, Sabu, Tommy Dreamer, and the Sandman going over the Holly family, Hardcore Holly, Crash Holly, and Spike Dudley Holly, in 7 minutes, 19 seconds when Tommy Dreamer defeats Crash Holly with the Dreamer Driver. It says after Beulah McGillicuddy interfered, but maybe, you know what? Maybe Beulah interfered. Maybe. The way I like to imagine this, let's say Beulah's distracting the referee or something, but really what happened is Sandman connects with the Singapore Cane right across Crash Holly's skull, taking him out. Dreamer Driver, 1, 2, 3, Team ECW wins. If you guys aren't really sure why Spike Dudley is a part of the Holly family now, go watch the Sunday Night Heat episode where Hardcore Holly revealed Spike Dudley to be the newest adopted Holly cousin or something like that. Where we also had probably the worst rated match on this series we've ever had. Yeah, that's what I was going with. Also, Spike and Crash don't work well as a team, so 6-man action is what we had tonight. I figured he'd be fine. Crash not suited to his gimmick. Spike Dudley seeming off his game. Both their heel turns, not strong suit, so it wasn't really well received. Spike Dudley, Holly with a 52 in-ring performance. Crash with a 49. Hardcore with a 50. So Spike, believe it or not, did better than both Crash and Hardcore. Sandman with a 42. Tommy Dreamer with a 58. And Sabu with a 67. Sandman is improving in Rumble. Spike Dudley Holly is improving in technical. Was Crash wasted? He was. It soon became pretty clear that Crash Holly was drunk. It really affected his performance. You guys know what that means, right? I think that means that we have to release Crash Holly. I think that would be his third strike. We sent him to rehab like twice now. Yeah. Either way, we start off the show with a 99 A-star rating here It opens up with the ring. It's all set up. It's got an American flag, designed carpet all set up in the ring with the flag stood tall, a podium set up in the middle of the ring, and Kurt Angle, the WCW World Champion's music goes off. He makes his way down to the ring. He's waving to the crowd. Maybe not kissing babies, but pretty much acting all presidential. Once in the ring, he sets his title front and center on the podium before picking up and reading a script, and he says, "Hello and welcome everyone to Monday Night Raw. I, your Olympic hero Kurt Angle, am here tonight to tell you the positives and the negatives of a planned merger between WCW and WWF that could be taking place as soon as No Way Out. The first eye-glaring one is that if either the WWF or WCW were to go out of business, then there would be a lot of superstars without jobs. Another one is that business could potentially go down. Oh yeah. They say that competition brings the best out of us. But and thirdly, but before he can get to that third point, that's when, if you smell, and the Rock's music comes out to interrupt Kurt Angle, and the People's Champion makes his way down to the ring. By the way, Taker passed along babyface tips to Mark Jindrak in the backstage area. But anyway, Rock goes on to take the mic and he says, "Kurt, no one here gives a damn about what you're saying. I mean, what are you doing out here? Trying to unify companies, or are you running for president? There is one thing you said in your little speech, though, that got The Rock a little angry. You said that a company merger could be possible as soon as No Way Out. No Way Out. Did you forget that you got to get through the Great One, The Rock, the People's Champion, before you even get to No Way Out? Or do you think that The Rock is just another walk in the park for a guy who won an Olympic gold medal with a broken frickin' neck? Look at The Rock when he says this to you. The Rock sees right through you. You come out here campaigning for a company merger and a title unification, but you won't let any of that happen unless you're the face of it. Yeah, and The Rock will prove it, because Kurt, if you really wanted the betterment for the WWF and for the WCW, if you really cared about the business, you'd put the WCW title on the line tonight in our #1 contendership match. That way, once The Rock whoops your candy ass, The Rock can go and whoop The Undertaker's candy ass and unify both the belts himself." I gotta take a drink. Hold on, guys. Ooh, boy, we might need to get more water halfway through this episode. Kurt takes a little bit of a long pause and he says, "Rock, you want to talk about being selfish? You're one to talk. For all your talk about leading the WWF to victory, I sure don't see you fighting for the leadership like myself and The Undertaker are." Rock goes on to respond by saying, "The Rock didn't hear you deny anything, though. I said, put the title on the line or put your tail between your legs and head back to Nitro." And that's when we have Rock and Kurt Angle. They get in each other's face, and it looks like it's about to get physical when the glass shatters and Stone Cold Steve Austin's music hits as the Texas Rattlesnake and the WWF Intercontinental Champion Rhino make their way towards the ring, and Austin says, "Now hold on just a damn minute. Will somebody tell me why Stone Cold Steve Austin was left out of this match? Anytime there's a damn #1 contenders match with the WWF title, you bet your ass Stone Cold better be in it. I practically paid for that damn title. So that's why tonight I don't give a damn what you say," and he points at The Rock, "and I don't give a damn what you say," points at Kurt Angle, and he says, "and I certainly don't give a damn what anyone in the back says or anything that these damn people say. Don't what me. The title card may read The Rock versus Kurt Angle for the #1 contendership for the WWF title, but Stone Cold's hijacking the show, and the card now reads Rock versus Angle versus Stone Cold Steve Austin for the #1 contendership for the WWF title, and that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold says so." Kurt then picks the mic and he goes, "Can you even do that? Or can you even do that?" "You damn right I can, and I just did. Besides, if it wasn't for that poser, Goldberg, I would have won the Rumble in the first place. Plus, the human wrecking ball Rhino just won the Intercontinental Championship, and since losing the tag team titles, old Stone Cold has felt a bit naked. So whether you like it or not, I'm in the damn match. Rock then goes on to interrupt Austin. Well, not really interrupt Austin, but he picks up the mic and he says, "It doesn't matter if you're in the match or not, Austin, because the only thing that matters is tonight whether Rock has to kick 1 or 2 candy asses. The Rock is still walking out, #1 contender, and soon to be the new WWF champion. If you smell what The Rock is cooking." And finally, that leads to the Undertaker's music going off, and the WWF champion finally makes his presence known as he is alongside his brother Kane as they stand at the entryway. And Taker goes on to say, "Do you three..." Hold on, let me try this better. "Do you three ever stop with your bitching? I mean, seriously, you three are acting like teenage girls. Kurt, you're the geeky one who follows all the rules. Rock, you act like you're the most popular one. And Austin, you're the one that nobody can stand. Now, I bet a lot of you are getting confused, and I know these... Let me try this again. I know a lot of you are getting confused, and I know these three. Also, let me break it down for you. Kurt, week in and week out, you talk about aligning with WCW week after week. And you even think you're God himself, and that only you can bring the WWF and WCW together. Newsflash, Mr. Olympic gold medal winner. It's not going to happen. Now, Rock, I know why you came to me and said, Undertaker, I want you to lead Team WWF versus WCW. It's because you're scared, Rock. You're scared of letting these people down because you hide behind them. You live off their cheers and the boos towards you. Hell, haven't you always said Vince McMahon didn't create The Rock, but the people created The Rock? You're scared of letting these people down, Rock, since I beat you at the Royal Rumble. That's all that's been running through your head. Austin, I ain't really got much to say about you because you showed each and every week that you are only out for yourself, and we all see that. Now, I don't give a damn who wins tonight between the three of you because at No Way Out, you will be trespassing on private property. Oh, and Rhino, I knew I forgot to tell you something. You know, I have no idea why Austin is out here bragging about you because tonight you might want to back up all the hype because you have a date with my little brother and Satan's favorite little monster, Kane. Good luck tonight, boys. And then Undertaker, and Kane both leave, leaving everybody there to do the thing. As JR, King, and them are probably all just going crazy. I thought I was deleting more promos. I got a little worried for a second. But yeah, got the show out to a strong start. Angle got the crowd hotter. Kurt Angle was good. Rock came out looking excellent. Austin was good. Taker looked good. Good all around. So we jump into the next segment as JR and King are just hyping up that, well, later on tonight we will see the WWF Intercontinental Championship on the line as Rhino will defend against Kane. Gets a 73 B-. And then a 76 B-, hyping up the main event for the night for the #1 contendership for the WWF title, Austin versus Rock versus Kurt Angle. We then go to a backstage segment, a dimly lit room here, as the flock crowds around Raven, who sits under a swinging light bulb. And Raven goes on to say, "Isn't family great? My family has grown over the months. While yours, Matt, yours was on the cusp of becoming broken. But just like I have united everyone here, I have also reunited brothers and mended a broken relationship. You're welcome. But how do you repay me? You send your new brothers to cost my brothers their gold. Tonight, whatever happens to your brothers, that's on you. Because Perry and the Boss Man have a fire that's been burning in their souls and are ready to take their ruthless aggression out on your brothers. Quote Raven, nevermore." And that got us a 74 B-, as Raven is getting better at his gimmick, as is Vampiro. The announcing quality lifted the segment. Got the crowd hotter, advancing the storylines. All in all, good stuff. As we jump into our opening match of the night, tag team action, as Jeff and Rob Van Dam, part of the Team Extreme stable we got going on right now, taking on the Flock. 79 solid B rating here. In a decent matchup here, the Flock goes over Jeff and RVD in 8 minutes and a second when Boss Man defeats Rob Van Dam with a Bubba Slam. The Boss Man Slam? I don't know. That's a weird name for his finisher. After interference from Vampiro in terms of in-ring work, Rob Van Dam was head and shoulders above everybody else. So the way I imagine this happening or going about is at one point RVD is up and ready to hit the 5-star Frog Splash. Maybe Jeff Hardy's already hit the Swanton and he's out of the way, or goes after Perry Saturn. RVD's ready to hit the 5-star Frog Splash, but out comes Vampiro out of nowhere, who sprays his mist into RVD's face, which leads to Boss Man hitting him with the Boss Man / the Bubba Slam. I don't know. Call it what you want. Either way, Flock gets their vengeance after this past Nitro when Jeff and RVD cost them their shot at the WCW Tag Team titles. Jeff Hardy's getting better at his gimmick. We already knew about Boss Man and Saturn's chemistry together. That's why we put them together. Raven was on the commentary table for this matchup, and it's interesting to note here that Jim Ross and Raven have pretty good chemistry when calling matches together. Who would have thought? Rob Van Dam's in-ring performance, 85. Jeff Hardy with a 75. Perry Saturn with a 70. And Boss Man with a 61. Rob Van Dam is also improving in flying skills. That's interesting. Who would have thought he could improve more? We then lead to a 93 solid A rating here in the backstage area. That noise you hear in the background, by the way, is my dog. He is right next to the microphone. I'm hoping he's not going to knock it down. Oh. Are you going to do it? I think you're safe. Oh. I think we're safe. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, we're backstage in the locker room area. Really, man? You're going to keep scratching your damn face when I'm recording. You got to do that right now? Vitamin C, we see them backstage. Christian, he's pacing back and forth while Jericho's sitting there. He's stroking his beard. I should probably change his picture. I want him to have that, long beard. Anyway, Christian, like I said, he's pacing back and forth. He goes on to say, "I've never felt so disrespected in my life. You mean to tell me after last week, after Austin blatantly cost me my Intercontinental Championship, he parades out there and thinks he should be rewarded with a shot at the WWF Championship? If anything, that should be going to you. I mean, you were in the Final Four in the Royal Rumble. And what has Kane done to earn an Intercontinental Championship match? Didn't he get pinned in his tag team match last week? I was screwed. I should be getting my rematch." And then Jericho steps up and says, "All right, Christian, calm down." Calm down? How can I calm down? I mean, what are we going to do about this? Jericho then steps up and says, "Well, if you'd shut up for a minute and listen, I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do about this." And that's when the camera fades away because, fades the commercial. We're not really supposed to hear the plan. Either way, Jericho's performance was good. Gained heat to the storyline as we come back from commercial break to yet another backstage segment here. 74 B-. The doctors are backstage. They're getting the mist out of Rob Van Dam's eyes. I said Jeff's eyes as well because when I wrote this promo, I wasn't exactly sure if it was Jeff or Rob, even though I made Jeff talk. Anyway, Matt is looking on and he says, "This is why I'm better off alone. Raven and the Flock like to use people's loved ones as a weakness, and I can't afford that." And that's when Jeff steps up and he says, "Matt, don't be like that. Rob and I picked this fight. You didn't force us to do anything, man. We knew what we were getting into. The Flock likes to play dirty, so I think it's time we start showing Raven and his goons exactly why they call us Team Extreme." And I just imagine, everyone nodding their heads like in agreement, yeah, I agree. One of those basic little segments. This was mostly just to fill time because I really needed to fill time and I didn't know what to put in there. Lita was good. RVD was fantastic. All he was doing was getting mist out of his eyes, but there you go. 74 B- for the group. So we jump into a 86 B+ rating here. Michael Cole backstage, and he says, "Michael Cole here, and joining me now are the WWF Tag Team Champions, Scott and Rick Steiner, the Steiner brothers." And that's when Scott and Rick walk in, along with Molly Holly, of all people. Rick goes behind Cole, and he, aggressively grabs his shoulders, kind of making that, a little bit of intimidation. or maybe a little gay. Call it what you'd like. Anyway, Scott says, oh, never mind. Cole goes on to say, well, Scott, you two request. But that's when Scott grabs the mic out of Cole's hand, or grabs Cole's hand, excuse me, doesn't grab the mic, grabs Cole's hand and pulls the mic up towards his mouth, and he says, just stand there and hold the mic. Test, Albert, last week you girls made the challenge for No Way Out, and while we accepted, I say, why wait? Now before you boys get too excited, we're not putting the titles on the line. These people are going to have to pay for that. But I bet you're all wondering why little Miss Molly's here. Why don't you tell them, girl? And then that's when Molly steps up and she says, Trish Stratus, Miss TNA herself, I've got a message for you. I am sick and tired of you using your looks to get to the top. All of these men drop their hard-earned money to watch you prance around in your skimpy outfits while real beautiful women like me are trying to make a living here. I bet you don't even know how to wrestle. And let me pull up our handy-dandy notepad, which is way out of place, because for once, I actually needed it. And our Monday Night Raw episode, for all things. Scott goes on to say, which leads me to the reason why we're here in the first place. Tonight, how's about the entirety of TNA come out and face the biggest, baddest team around alongside the biggest, baddest chick around? If you boys got any balls, we'll see you in the ring. Or maybe you two really are women. Let's get out of here, Rick. No, we don't want to save that. So the challenge has been made. 6-man action, possibly tonight, as Steiners and Molly Holly putting the challenge out to the entirety of TNA, including Trish herself. Molly Holly apparently performed poorly in this segment. Scott Steiner was good, though. We jump into the next segment, which is the Intercontinental Championship matchup, which gets an 86 B+ rating. In a superb match, Rhino goes on to defeat Kane in 12 minutes 53 seconds. Excuse me, my dyslexia kicked in there for a second, apparently. After Kane was disqualified when Christian ran in and attacked Rhino. Rhino making his second defense of the Intercontinental Championship. So we talked about a plan earlier. I guess this was their plan. Christian opting to go after Rhino. Doesn't want Kane to get the victory to have some sort of excuse as to why he should get it. I don't know. I just chose... Christian's annoyed. Get it, okay? He went after Rhino because of that. Either way, he goes after Rhino, causes a DQ. Rhino retains the championship either way. And there you have it. Kane with an 87 to Rhino's 85. So we jump into the next segment here, which gets a solid 92 A rating here. Jonathan Coachman backstage, and he says, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the coach, and joining me at this time is the WCW World Champion, Kurt Angle. Kurt, in just a few moments, you'll be facing The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin for the #1 contendership for the WWF title. A very important step on your path to unifying the companies. But Rock made some good points out there earlier, and I've got to ask, why not just prove him wrong and put the belt on the line? And that's when Kurt steps up and says, well, Coach, look, I know this is going to sound like a cop-out or like an excuse, but I swear on my Olympic gold medals that this is the truth. Being the WCW champ while being under contract with the WWF doesn't leave me with many freedoms. I can only defend my title against approved opponents by Shane McMahon. As much as I'd like to shut Rock and Austin up tonight, I'm afraid Shane won't allow it. But that's not going to stop me from going out there and beating both Rock and Austin, and then going on to No Way Out to beat whoever Shane has in store for me, and then beat The Undertaker to unify both the WCW and WWF World Championships. And then Kurt walks away. Coach probably says, oh, well, good luck to you guys. Back to ringside, whatever. Kurt Angle was fantastic. Good for him. We jump into another backstage segment, this time featuring TNA 76B-, as we see Trish Stratus. She's angrily getting ready for the match tonight. Tess says, you sure you want to do this, Trish? Molly is really just trying to get under your skin. And that's when Trish goes on and says, no, this is exactly what I want to do. Molly isn't the only one who is saying this, saying that I'm just some blonde bimbo. Well, tonight, we're going to go out there, and I'm going to prove to Molly that I'm the perfect combination of beauty and skill. And then Trish storms out while Tess and Albert just kind of give each other like this look, and then get ready for the matchup, which is next. 85 B+ rating here in a decent matchup. Molly Holly and the Steiner brothers do go over TNA after in 11 minutes 51 seconds after Molly Holly beats Trish Stratus with the Molly Go round after a distraction from Scott Steiner. Molly Holly was apparently the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. But either way, the way I'd like to play this out is maybe Scott, flexing himself, showing off to Trish, like, you like this, don't you, girl? And Trish is just kind of like, ew, no, not at all. And then turns around and gets the Molly Go round. 1, 2, 3, they pick up the victory. Trish Stratus with a 65 in-ring performance, Albert with an 83, Tess with an 82, Molly with a 54, Rick Steiner with a 71, Scott with an 87. We go to a backstage skit again here, one of those other segments that I really just needed to fill time, to be honest. 97 A-star rating. Jonathan Coachman back again. He says, all right, ladies and gentlemen, the coach here and joining me. But Austin just rips the mic out of his hand. He says, shut up and scram, because I got one pissed off rhinoceros behind me who's just begging to take his anger out on someone. Jericho, Christian, this here's a warning. We saw what you did tonight, interfering and attacking Rhino during his title match. But if either of you blonde bimbos get yourselves involved in my match tonight, there will be hell to pay. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. You got it? Come on, Rhino. So just a quick thing, Austin acknowledging the fact that, yeah, Jericho and Christian could very well get involved in his match here tonight, but he puts out the warning saying, you best not. We go into our triple threat main event of the night, which gets an 88 B+ rating here, and about that had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat. The Rock goes on to defeat Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle in 18 minutes, 9 seconds when The Rock defeats Stone Cold by pinfall with the Rock Bottom after a distraction from Chris Jericho. So there you have it. Jericho does get involved. He gets out there. Looks like he's going to go after Austin, maybe going for the stunner at some point, and then Austin sees Jericho. Rock pushes him off or something like that. I don't know. He sees Jericho, gets him distracted, turns around, gets the Rock Bottom. 1, 2, 3. The Rock is the number one contender for the WWF Championship, and we can go ahead and book in that matchup. I also got to book in the tag team match. I guess that got deleted when I accidentally had to restart because of my stupidity, so let's go ahead and do that real quick too. Sean Stasiak and Mark Jindrak versus Canyon and Hugh Morris. WCW Tag Team Championship. Boom. Oh, hold on. Now boom. Now boom. Thank you. And finally, we get to the Undertaker versus The Rock for the Undertaker. Almost said for the Undertaker title. For the WWF title. And there we go. Save that up. Rock at a 95. Austin with a 99. And Kurt Angle with a 93. Good on you. That'll end off the show. I thought about putting The Undertaker coming out, but nah, who cares? Like he said, he doesn't care, so why would he right now? So I decided against it. That ended off the show to get us a solid 92 A rating here, increasing our popularity in 16 regions. Hell yeah. Can't complain. But we do have something we got to do, guys. I hate to do it. I didn't want to do it. I've always been a big Crash Holly fan myself when he was in the WWF. But, oh boy, apparently we got an incident involving Vampiro as well. So he wrestled drunk last night. We look at the disciplinary log. 2 wasted the work. Wrestled while wasted. It's already happened twice. This is his 3rd offense. We've got to fire him. You know what, overall, though? It improved his behavior as a result of the handling. Apparently we have a simmering tension in relations, though. So, that sucks. Vampiro? Steroids? Take that fine. Don't care. Sucks to be you. Fantastic reviews. Kenzo Sasaki, apparently the star of New Japan's History Ranked Champion show. Interesting. Rick Blade, new champion. Good stuff all around. Kid Cash got some politics going on. Alright, there you have that. Nothing too special going on here. What do we got going here? Justice Payne signs a pay-per appearance with 3PW. Hardcore Holly was annoyed that Crash Holly was clearly drunk during their match, so Spike Dudley, Tommy Dreamer. Hardcore Holly says he needs to get some wins. Undertaker says Boss Man can't sell worth it. Isn't that his friend? I thought Boss Man and Undertaker were friends. Worth a damn, in my opinion, he needs to learn how to work. Well, shit. And Tess says Sandman has poor in-ring psychology. He's probably not worth keeping around. Okay, then. Either way, that's going to do it for this episode as we check out the storylines real quick. All in all, it seems like it's doing good. Nothing really blowing us out of the water. Undertaker and Rock seems to be doing really well, though. But that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't done already. And as always, my name has been OMG, WTF, LOL, FTWBRB. I will see you guys for Nitro. But until then, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. See you next time. Said that way too many times.